Jordan Peterson has barely announced his new social media platform and he's already getting dragged by the media. I did a simple Google search of Jordan Peterson and I just got a wave of hit pieces, so I just picked two. This one was sent to me by a friend, but I picked another one. I thought it was funny. So, for those that aren't familiar, Jordan Peterson has a new platform called ThinkSpot. I wouldn't call it an anti-censorship platform, which that's what The Guardian is billing it as. It's just it's a social media site. And Jordan said he's only going to take things down if there's a court order. Now, I personally disagree with that. I think it's a really bad idea. We'll see how it gets implemented, but we can talk about this and the couple of smear pieces that are basically just calling it all of the worst things in the book. And they're claiming he will censor people. So, it's unsurprising that the media jumped on this and tried to smear Jordan as the worst of the worst before we even know what the platform is, because it doesn't yet exist. Right? You can go to the site and it's like, put in your email. Before we get started with this article, head over to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There's a monthly donation option, a crypto option, and a physical address. But of course, just like and comment on the video because the engagement really helps. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more videos and share the link because that's basically the best thing you can do. From The Guardian, Jordan Peterson launches anti-censorship site ThinkSpot. Right-wing academic enlists failed UKIP MEP candidate Carl Benjamin to test subscription-only platform. What is this article supposed? God, just news is so awful. Jordan Peterson, the controversial academic, has launched a new anti-censorship website that will only take down offensive content if specifically ordered to by a U.S. court. The psychology professor from Toronto said that Carl Benjamin, the failed UKIP MEP candidate, why is this even being brought up? Why is Sargon relevant to the story? Sure. Peterson has a cult following among right-wingers and moderate centrists, because that's actually his core base, for controversial views about identity politics, and has become a hate figure for many on the left, sure. Earlier this year, the University of Cambridge rescinded an offer of visiting fellowship to Peterson after backlash from staff and students. Peterson said he hoped the site would be a censorship-free alternative to Patreon, an online membership service that already makes the Canadian $80,000 per month. However, please do your research. Peterson left Patreon. I'm pretty sure he left a long time ago, didn't he? This is from last year. This is a year-old article. Yeah, Rubin and Peterson left Patreon. I mean, unless I missed something. But sure, Guardian, great fact-checking. He said it'll be a subscription service, and so that's partly what makes it a replacement for Patreon to some degree, because we want to be able to monetize creator. That's great. The terms of service for the new site take an extreme position on free speech. Peterson said, once you're on our platform, we won't take you down unless we're ordered by a U.S. court of law. That's basically the idea. So we're trying to make an anti-censorship platform. So sure, okay, we can call it anti-censorship platform. But I want to address that point immediately. I think Jordan Peterson is straight up wrong. Listen, I have no problem with Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Google, whoever, removing something that is a direct incitement, a call to violence, doxing somebody. There is a line. The line it's just that the line isn't someone's bad opinion, right? The issue is, if you're actually going to directly take action against somebody, that should be stopped. Publishing someone's private information should be a bannable offense, right? And so this is why I think the free speech argument is interesting, and I am not a free speech absolutist. I believe that people with awful opinions should be allowed to share them. I believe that people with good opinions, I think it's wrong for companies trying to remove this because it results in an inverse circumstance. You take all these people and they create a parallel web. So look at this, for instance. What happens when you start censoring people? Well, then other people make other sites, and some people will say, hey, that's the free market working. Sure, that's fine. Like, I'm fine with that. Except what's disconcerting is when all of the really bad people are put in the same place as the only kind of bad people. Twitter should allow the pot smoke, let me put it better. If you have someone who's an unrepentant racist saying really horrifying things, and Twitter says, we're going to get rid of him, puts him on a site, and then some other dude says something that's kind of offensive joke, and then puts him in the same room, congratulations, you're doing wrong, it's bad. However, I'll just stress one more time before we read on, I don't have a problem with any of these sites saying that was a direct incitement to violence. I think the bigger issue is they need warning systems, clearer rules. Opinions should be allowed, even if they're nasty. And if you got a problem with it, block somebody, plain and simple. Now, apparently, it's being alleged that Jordan Peterson's platform will shadow ban unpopular opinions. I don't know what they mean by that, but I will say that a lot of the hit pieces against Jordan Peterson in this capacity have been saying things like he's reinventing Gab or something, and it's like, what? Jordan Peterson's a professor. He's going to allow opinions. I kind of think, yeah, it might devolve into a nonsense field, but, whatever, conspiracies, that's what I mean by that. It's like a lot of conspiracies, and the dregs of all the other platforms will start coming to Jordan, but maybe it'll be better. We'll see, right? The platform hasn't come out yet. I don't know exactly what he's going to do, but I love all of this smear. So before we look into whether or not he'll actually censor people, they do mention in this article that Peterson said they've got, a few people like James Altucher, Joko Willink, Michael Shermer, and Carl Benjamin. So they naturally have gone after Carl Benjamin. Peterson called for more testers on the site on his Twitter account. Comments on the site would be voted on by users on a thumbs up or thumbs down basis. If your ratio of down votes to up votes falls below 50-50, then your comments will be hidden. So is that what they mean by shadow banning unpopular opinions? It's quite literally what Reddit does. He said there were still problems on the site to iron out, but added, it would be nice to have a censorship-free platform if we could figure out how to do that. Well, the Intelligencer over at NYMag had a glorious smear calling it all the worst things in the book. This story is titled, Jordan Peterson's online platform will shadow ban unpopular opinions. It says, the Canadian academic who I think I could absolutely describe as, let's make this bigger. Yes, we're going to do it. Jordan Peterson, listen. Jordan Peterson, the Canadian academic whom I think I could absolutely describe as a dingus supreme. What? Is there an opinion thing on this? There's no opinion. Is this a news website? It's verified. Has a new idea for an online platform. This is very important to Peterson because he and his largely alt-right fan base need a safe space online to share controversial opinions and practice free thought. So Peterson is launching ThinkSpot, a self-described as a collaborative community where individuals can explore and exchange ideas in a thoughtful and respectful manner. The platform is an intellectual playground for censorship-free discourse. It will also shadow ban users. And what's he linking to? The Guardian or something, I bet? His largely alt-right fan base. This is like just straight up fake news. I don't even know how else to put it. The alt-right hates Jordan Peterson. He targets them frequently. They absolutely detest him. He calls them collectivists. And they don't like him for it. Sure, intelligence or right fake news. So they say, the grand idea of ThinkSpot, as far as I can tell, is that it's a place for people who know how to be racist and sexist in a more dog-whistly way, not in the more direct way you might see on Twitter. Or on Gab, the platform for people who are somehow too racist for Twitter. Yeah. Jordan Peterson tweeted that per the Joe Rogan podcast this week, I'm backing a new platform, yada yada. On his podcast this week, speaking with guest Joe Rogan, Peterson outlined how he planned to keep ThinkSpot from spiraling out of control. A minimum word count. If minimum comment length is 50 words, you're going to have to put a little thought into it, Peterson said. Even if you're being a troll, you'll be a quasi-witty troll. I may be a little more skeptical at Peterson and Rogan's crowd, the one that spend hours at a time watching men yell into a microphone on YouTube. Hey, that's what I'm doing. I'm not yelling, though. We'll have trouble coming up with 50 words to fill space. Oh, no, man. You know, my videos have like 3,000 to 4,000 words per video. So, yeah, well, not all of them, like the 20-minute ones. The ones that are like 10 minutes are like 2,000 to 2,500 words. Even weirder was Peterson's reveal that the site will hide downvoted comments, like Reddit does. They have a score threshold, and if it has too many downvotes, then it gets blocked and you have to open it. If your ratio to upvotes, we read that part. Shadow banning used to mean that a user's post would remain visible to the user, but were otherwise entirely hidden from the website. It's a way of getting people to leave on their own by removing the feedback loop of getting reactions from other users. But a sloppily worded Vice News article about Twitter from last year has muddied the definition. Sure. The report pointed out that certain members of the GOP weren't showing up in Twitter's auto-suggest function. Everywhere else on the site, though, these accounts were visible, and users could see their posts. Vice erroneously labeled this process shadow banning, but it is. What is this opinion? This is nonsense. And, New York Mag, I'm just so fed up with all of the fake news. I've got a really big fake news story coming up in the next segment for you guys. For the podcast, it'll probably be the first segment because things are getting spooky, really creepy. I've got a bunch of just stories that are completely, like, the media does one thing and then lies another. It's basically complete inconsistency within the media. So I'm just reading this and it's mind-numbingly just garbage. It wasn't really shadow banning by hiding their account from auto search. That's not shadow banning. What? In reality, Twitter was doing the type of quality control that nearly all websites practiced. Gating certain users a little bit more. That's literally shadow banning, dude! Based on feedback and signals from other users. ThinkSpot, by Peterson's own admission, appears to function the same way. And the issue here is whether the rules are biased or whether or not they're clear. Not whether or not a site like Reddit can have you downvote someone's post or comment and then they don't appear anymore. You know what? I have no idea what ThinkSpot's going to be, but I just thought it was funny that before anything has actually happened, they're rushing out the gate full speed to get those hit pieces out. And they're just contradictory and nonsensical, and you know what? There it is. But are any of you surprised that Jordan Peterson's already being smeared? No, of course not. It's just par for the course, and that's kind of why ThinkSpot's probably important. Though I disagree with Peterson's opinion on how he's going to run the rules court order, while I can respect that in some capacity, I think if someone makes a direct threat of violence or doxes you, you can get rid of them. Absolutely. But you know what? Where the line is an opinion, I suppose. We just saw James O'Keefe get suspended from Project Veritas got suspended for a privacy complaint. To me, that's absurd. So, you know what? Hey, welcome to the free market. They're a private platform. They can do whatever they want. And sure enough, the Intelligencer from New York Mag will write complete nonsense. And the Guardian's going to try and smear him for talking to Carl Benjamin, whatever. I'll leave it there. Stick around. The next segment's going to be a lot longer and a lot more, I don't know, crazy, whatever. I'll see you. But for those in the podcast, you probably already heard it. For everyone else on YouTube, it'll be at youtube.com/TimCast starting at 4 p.m. I will see you there.